Well, we are going to play a quick We Will Write game, and if you're not familiar with We Will Write, it is super, super fun. It's kind of like one of these like gamified review games that you see, all over the place, only this one's specifically for writing. And if you've got kids, if you've ever got kids where they're not super excited about writing, shock, surprise, then you can get them into this, and it's this fun, low stakes game where you can practice writing little by little by little over time and build up those skills in a really, really fun way. So we're going to try it, and we're going to see what it's all about. So we're going to play this game called School 2.0. School 2.0. This is one where we've got a couple of little writing prompts, and we're going to kind of like imagine what school might be like if it was a little bit more fun or a little bit different, right? Okay, so we're going to do 2 different prompts. You're going to get, if you're not familiar with We Will Write, you're going to get familiar real quickly by us actually playing a game. Okay, so we're going to get started. You want to just pick? Yep. There you go. You can select a specific class if we want to. And you'll see with a We Will Write game, it's just like any other one where you can just join the game. So you can go to join.wewillwrite.com and enter the PIN in. And it's super easy for students to be able to join. Of course, the nice thing about it is you don't have to have a student account. All they've got to do is just go in and join with the PIN and they can get going. And this is really nice, especially for, like if you've got a little bit of in-between time where you want students to be able to do something fun, where you need to kind of break up the monotony a little bit. You just put one of these quick games up here, and it can take anywhere from, you can get one done in less than 10 minutes pretty quickly. Or if you want to design an entire class around it, it can be even longer. And the nice thing about it too is you can connect it to lots of different content areas as well. It doesn't just have to be for like English language arts. Okay, so we got 6. Let's just start with that. So that'll break us into a nice group of 3 different groups, and then it's going to add 3 robots. That's kind of nice so that it like fills the rest of the team out and everything. Okay, so we got our teams. We got our bucks, we got our lions, and we got our giraffes. And like I was saying earlier, this is low stakes practice for writing. You're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second. Okay, check this picture out. School bus with great big monster truck tires. Why is this a good idea? That's going to be our writing prompt. So we're going to go ahead and start writing. So we're going to give you a chance to write out what it is that you think is a good idea about this. Now what you'll notice as we're doing this that's kind of fun is that as the teams are writing, it keeps track of how many words have been written by each team. So, that's another thing where you'll start to get kids a little bit competitive and they'll want to try. But what it also is doing is it's building fluency in writing, right? It's kind of like encouraging them to just keep writing. Because it's so easy for kids a lot of times where, they start to write a little bit and then they stop and they go, oh, that's not good. Oh, I got to erase that. Oh, I got to change it. And the reality is that the more that you write and the more that you get that flow going, the more you build that fluency in writing. And so that's really what we're doing here. And my goodness, those lions have a lot to say. That's good. Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds, and then we're going to call this one to a close. I know for some of you, you've probably got lots and lots of ideas. I know for me, I'm from Indiana, and we get lots of snow up in Indiana. So I'm thinking, if we had a school bus like this, it would be good, because we get lots of blowing and drifting snow, and sometimes we have to cancel school because of all of the snow. So I'm like, this would be a good idea. But then I thought, wait a second, kids like snow days. They like having school canceled. Maybe this isn't a good idea. I don't know. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and call this to a close right now. I know, sorry. All right, so we're going to go on to the self-assessment. And this is where you get to kind of like look at your own stuff. It's a neat little reflection step, right? Where you just have students, check in and see what they think about their writing and how they would self-assess. Okay, so now we're on to the read and assess. So this is the time where you get to look between 2 different writings. Of course, these are writings that you didn't do, and you get to vote. Of course, it's going to be very interesting to see in the end, how do we feel about this? How did the class feel about my writing? What's the feedback that I'm going to get and everything? The other thing that I like about it too is that we're not just saying, do we like it? Do we think that it's cool? This is, how convincing is it? And it's not just how convincing is it, it's an easy way to rank it. 1, 2, or 3 fists. Do you give it 1 fist or 2 fists or 3 fists? So that's an easy way to be able to check that. Okay, now we go from the student-centered side to the teacher-centered side, because it's kind of nice for me as a teacher to be able to call certain things out, So I've got all of these up here. Let's say I want to pull one of them up and show it right up here on the screen. So it's nice for us to be able to put this up here. And again, notice, is anybody's name on this? It's anonymous, right? Which is nice because that gives your kids a little bit more confidence to go and write and not feel like everybody's going to be judging them, right? A monster school bus is awesome. It's safer in a crash. It can go off roads, and it looks like a total beast. Kids will never miss school again. And of course, what are some of the good things that we've got going on there? It's description, and then also using pathos. If we're using our ability to convince people, your logos, your ethos, and your pathos, kids will never miss school again. That one's pretty good. Let's take a look at another one real quick. This huge school bus is the coolest idea. Where I live, we could get both snowstorms and heavy rain, and we'd get us to school on all of the days. I was talking about that earlier. That's good. It's also kind of like, hard to sell kids on no snow days. Again, description, and then even, we're getting a little bit rhetorical. So it's nice for me to be able as a teacher to say what I like about it, but then for it to be able to highlight some other things too. We get stuck with unsafe old buses. That's an interesting take on this. This one shows that kids matter. It's bold. It's hard to ignore. If schools use buses like this, it would send a message that education is powerful. Students deserve the best. That's pretty good too. I like that. That's good. Okay, so as a teacher, I got to call out a few of these and talk about some of the things that we're doing as a class. Now it's time to vote. Now you put your votes where your mouth is, and you get to decide. And of course, you can't vote for your own, but we don't need to do that, right? All right, we're going to take a look at the results, and we see we have our bucks? Is that what they were? Yeah, that's right. Got a decent amount of the votes, and so now we've got a leaderboard. And now things are starting to get interesting. All right. So then we've got a moment to take a look at all of our texts one more time, a little quick celebration, because it's important to do that kind of thing. All right, so as this wraps up real quick, I'll just remind you that when you use something like this, a lot of times in class, we give students writing assignments, and we put a grade on them. And they're high stakes when you do that, right? You have them, and especially if it's a longer assignment, a bigger assignment that takes multiple days, counts for lots of points and everything. If we're going to have students practice writing by just doing these high stakes assignments, there's a lot of stress and anxiety that goes on that. If we want some of those little low stakes practices, this is the kind of thing you want. It makes me think, I'm from Indiana, and basketball is a big deal in Indiana. If you want to become a better free throw shooter, you don't wait until the game is happening and take free throws during the game when it matters. You go outside or you go in the gym and you just start practicing where it doesn't matter. And that's really what we're trying to do here. So if you're a teacher, one of the things I love about this is that you've got all of these different prompts that you can choose from. Or you have the ability to, right, exactly, in the discovers. So you got all this different stuff that you can just choose from. So again, it's sort of no prep whenever you do that. All right, great. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being here.